Hi, this video is an advancement from the basic version of mobility and flexibility exercises for your hips. My name is Roxanne Meldrum and I'm a physical therapist with PT Health Academy. Please remember to like and subscribe as this does help my small business grow. Thank you so much for your support. So as I said, there's a basics version of this video for you to work through if you are new to these mobility and flexibility exercises for your hips. But for those of you who have worked through that and are ready for an advancement, we're going to dive right in. Let's start with knee to chest. So this is what we started with in the basic version, pulling that knee up as high as you're comfortable going. Now you're going to use a wall, stairs, the bumper of your car to really give a little more overpressure with each repetition. So you're going to put your foot up on that object and lean in. Now on this stretch, you'll notice that it's really the stance leg hip flexor that's getting some good stretch. And you're also going to get a little bit of a stretch in the front of the bent leg. So you should feel a decent stretch on the end of each repetition. And again, you're going to do 10 on each side. Now you'll notice that my knee doesn't come up very high. I have tight hips. So you may find that your thigh is hitting your stomach. Great, perfect. You do want to block a little bit that you're not hyperextending through your low back, so make sure your belly button's in. Good. Next one is foot to butt. So you're going to swing back and kick yourself in the butt, and again, grabbing that foot and giving it an extra pull, keeping your belly button in. You don't want to arch through your back, right? I got lots of motion right here, but I need it to come from my hip. So I'm going to pull my belly button in and try to ensure that all the motion is coming just from my hip, giving me a good stretch down the front of my thigh. Again, 10 reps. Now in this one, an additional advancement would be that you could take a large step to the side and then pull, large step to the side and pull. So you're adding a little lateral work, a little balance work. And then finally you can go up on your toe. And that can add some advancement as well. If you have space, I think it's really nice to kind of step, pull, down a hallway, down a driveway, if you've got that length. That's too hard for me to do on video, but just keep it in mind as another advancement. The third move, we did that large side step, right? Stepping right and stepping left multiple times, right? Back and forth. So this time, instead of doing a step, you're gonna do a side lunge. You're gonna step over, you're gonna push that hip back as the trail leg stays straight. So you're gonna feel a nice groin stretch. And then up, all the way up, and then other side. Now you can do alternating sides, or you can just hang out and do one side for 10, and then switch and do the other side for 10. I think the hard part with this one is most people tend to stay straight up and down and drive their knee forward. It's really just like that hip hinge. It's really driving those hips back, trying to get those hips back behind you. And then you want to make sure your knee is staying in line with your toes and not caving in. So keep that knee out in line with your toes and back up. Again, if you're doing it right, you should feel that groin stretch. Maybe some work in your thigh as well. But 10 times on each side. Notice whenever I hip hinge or whatnot, I try to keep my ears, my shoulders, and my hips in line. So my head goes with. If you're staying looking up, then you're exercising with your neck in extension, and it's a good idea to keep your chin down just to protect your neck while you're exercising. Okay, so that's the side step, and then we're gonna move to the single leg deadlift move. No real advancement to that one, except just trying to go as far as you can with each repetition. Again, that back toe points straight to the ground. I guess an advancement actually would be that you're not holding onto the wall. 10 times on each side. You're trying to keep that right and left hip in line with each other. As you get tired, it's going to be real easy to let that hip stay up, that back toe to point out to the side. The 10 reps. Good. All right, the next one we did was the tip stretch. And again, grabbing your ankle and really using that as some leverage is helpful to get a more advanced stretch. You always want to be careful of what's going on with your low back. So don't grab your ankle and arch through your back as you tip, right? Keep that belly button in. Keep that belly button in to protect your low back as you're doing this stretch. And you're gonna do 10 on each side. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. Next stretch is the hip hinge. You can use the stick or not. Again, I like to push my hands through my hips to remind myself where I'm trying to bend from. Try to keep your ears, shoulders, hips in line as you do that so that you're not inadvertently pushing your neck into full extension on every repetition, which may not feel good to those joints. Okay, now we're gonna work on the squat stretch. And the advancement here is to do it kind of freestyle and not over on the stairs. Now, I like my feet to be slightly wider than my shoulders. It kind of depends on which direction your hip sockets are pointing. So, you know, they normally point out a little bit, but maybe yours point a little more down, a little more up, a little bit more out, a little bit more straight ahead. So play around with your foot position to see where you can get down relatively comfortable. Now, if you're new to this, if your knees don't tolerate this, you don't have to do this stretch, but if you have the capability, it's really a great stretch to work on. And when I say capability, like obviously you have to have the ankle mobility and happy knees in order to get in this position comfortably. Do not force it through pain. You'll cause more problems than this is worth. Okay, so my butt is down towards my heels. I'm gonna put my elbows inside my knees, hands together, and push my knees apart. And then I'm gonna focus on ears, shoulders, hips in line, trying to get my back nice and flat. So I'm pinching my shoulder blades together, and I'm just sinking into this position for 10 to 20 seconds. Now, when I relax, you can stay down here, or you can return to standing, and then come back down. This is the one that I wouldn't necessarily do 10 of these, but 10 to 20 seconds, 3 to 4 repetitions, trying to get your back straight, and just sink into the position. You'll feel a nice stretch in your hips. So those are some suggestions for some advanced mobility and flexibility work for your hips. I've had lots of patients and people ask me, hey, you never covered hamstring and hip flexor stretching. So this is a little bit different program. I see this being more of your dynamic warm-up prior to running or exercising to get your hips moving, to activate your muscles, to get you prepared for the activities that you're gonna do. I think prolonged stretching is very important, especially in your hip flexors, but I would save that towards more the end of your workout when you're warmed up, you're more flexible, and you can target those areas. I hope you found this video helpful. Again, if you did, please like and subscribe. It really does help my small business grow. Thank you for your support.